Good morning, super friends, and welcome to the Wednesday, November 5th edition of the Sacred News and Weather. It is a full moon out there. It is a rainy day here, rainy and windy and wild. And I have to confess, some of you know this already, but I am a big fan of rainy, windy, and wild weather. I am someone who feels very pressured to be super productive and outdoors and moving and doing when it's sunny outside. And I'm really trying to quiet that part of myself that like my value is in my productivity. I've been really working these last 6 months at getting rid of that idea that my value is rooted in how productive I am. And it's always infinitely easier when the weather is like this and I can sit and languish in meditation and reading and studying. And I do have some clients and some meetings today. It is going to be a busier Wednesday, but I love that the weather matches my desire to sort of be inward today. Wondering where you are today. Are you feeling the inward or are you feeling the outward? The full moon in Taurus is bringing us back to, or I invite you to scroll back, to roll back the camera to where you were at the end of April last year. We are completing that cycle, and that cycle was a big one for me. So I'm really feeling the depths of that right now, and I have been for a couple of weeks. Um, Someone was saying, or I might have even read it somewhere, like, oh, full moon in Taurus, so earthy, and does not feel that way this time around. It feels very like very very buzzy, not very earthy. If there is any earthiness to it, there's like a weightiness to it, but the weightiness doesn't feel grounded, if that makes any sense. The weightiness feels like still a little like like a little buzzy, at least in my system. So I'm just reflecting that to you in case you are feeling that as well. And if you're not, awesome. You do you, you be you, and I hope it is just a feeling of delight. Not that this isn't delightful again to be in this weather and to be able to chill out a little bit today. I'm really pleased that I get to do that. Our message today started with images from the tarot. So I didn't draw cards, but I saw two distinct images, and the tarot is always in motion. It's not static. It's always changing, and it's it indicates movement for me. When I see the cards, I feel like the cards are living and breathing, and they are inviting you into action. So when I draw cards, when I pull cards, when I see cards, it's not a feeling of this is the way it is or this is the way it's going to be. It's a living, breathing invitation to step into, step away from. And I felt like that's what I was very much experiencing in meditation this morning. The first card that I saw was the Ace of Swords. And what I saw was first the image from the traditional Rider-Waite deck. And then I saw it almost like an old film strip, or I don't know if it was film strip or like one of the old projector films where there was like a countdown. And I'm like aging myself here, but some of you know exactly what I'm talking about. Like when you were in school and you saw the countdown and it was like 10, 9, 8, and there were like geometric shapes and colors. I saw that kind of a countdown before the sword itself started taking action. And there was this feeling of the sword is going to like get stabby. But what I saw instead was the sword like coming down and cutting a ribbon. So that was the imagery that started today. And before I get too far into it, I am going to give you my preamble, which is um, as with any of the messages I deliver, please take what resonates, leave the rest behind. I am channeling energy for a variety of people. I think there are probably about 60 or 70 people in this group subscribed right now. And I know that there are a lot more of you who are watching that are not subscribed. Some of you sort of dip in, and some of you like open my messages immediately and receive. And I'm grateful for whatever way you partake in my work in the world. And I hope that you are deepening your own work and your own healing as you receive these messages. These messages are timeless. So if you are tuning in today, which is Wednesday, November 5th, or later in the week, later in the year, whenever you receive this message, there's very likely something that will be here for you. But again, don't make yourself fit. If you are seeing something that is, particularly if it's really uncomfortable and it's really foreign, like those are the places where I don't want you to make the message fit. Like I don't want you to worry about anything, because generally what I am bringing to you is something that is already present in your energetic system. And time and space are really bendy. So sometimes it is out ahead, but more often than not, the energy that I'm tapping into is the energy of the moment. So if there's something worrisome that is causing something fearful in you, and that's going to come up today. There was a lot of fear in today's message. If there's something that's causing you fear as you receive this message, know that if it is fear of something that's already happening in you, it's probably for you. But if it feels so far off and it's like giving you fear of what might happen in the future, I want you to let it go, because it's probably not going to be for you. All right, that was too much information. So going back to, and I'm going to close my eyes now and just get going. Going back to that image of the Ace of Swords, which for me means like the beginning of, it's wisdom, it's clarity, it's truth. It's like a truth is coming in, like a truth is going to be revealed. There's also an element of productivity in that sword energy for me as well, but that could be just because I am very much a Libra, and swords are air. Swords are the element of metal in Chinese five element theory. So it tends to be a cutting away from, a doing away with that which is no longer needed, which is very apropos of where we are seasonally. We are in fall right now. We are cutting away the dead weight. And so when I saw this sword coming down, there was this fear of, again, that like stabby energy, like I am going to be stabbed with the truth. And instead, like that stabbing energy was coming at us, and it was like, "Ah!" But what I saw was the cutting of a ribbon and then an invitation to just start pulling the ribbon away and unwinding it. And it almost wanted to, what I was reminded of, I'm a knitter. And when you wind up a skein of yarn is that like, or a hank of yarn actually is like that long, it's like a long loop of yarn. And you see people like put them on their knees and then they roll it into a ball, or there's like a ball, a yarn spinner that will spin a hank of yarn into a ball. And that was kind of what I was seeing, where the ribbon was cut, or the yarn was cut, and there was this energy that was like spinning the ribbon of whatever was being cut away into a little ball to like hold in your hand. So the feeling I got from that is that, it was feeling very much like truth, like telling the truth. It's time to tell the truth. And there's this fear that telling the truth is going to like stab someone in the heart. But instead, what I saw was not stabbing, but it was going to cut away some sort of, and it felt like this like lie, or like the worry or the fear was like all the way woven through the body, through the system. And by cutting it and spooling it up, it pulled everything out of either your nervous system or somebody else's nervous system and spooled it into this ball of yarn that you could hold in your hand and knit a sweater with, or toss into the fire. It was like there's this fear that telling the truth or receiving a truth is going to stab you in the heart. But the truth of it is, the actual truth underneath that fear is that it's actually going to pull this element of what is that ribbon? That ribbon in my body then in meditation felt a little bit different than it does now. And I don't know if it's because I actually did the energy work on myself and the collective in pulling that strand out, but it was like pulling something out of your system that just doesn't belong, but it was so much a part of your system that it felt like it was a part of you. So like whether it was fear or the lie or the worry, whatever this ribbon it represents to you. So you're gonna find yourself in here. There's several versions or several threads that I can feel. One of which is if you are the person who needs to tell the truth, it's the fear of how the truth is going to be received. You think it's going to be stabby, but instead it's going to remove some element of worry or anxiety or fear or just like talks. Actually, what I'm feeling now is like shame. There's this element of shame that is going to be removed from either your system or the system of another by cutting away this ribbon and drawing it out of you and winding it up. And this thing that was like overtaking you was an innate part of you is actually this little benign ball of yarn in your hand that you can either choose to do something with or toss into the fire to let the element of fire take it, to just take it away from you, that because it's no longer serving you. There was also, speaking of fire, there was the image of the sun came forward as well. And the sun has been coming in to these readings as well, to these messages as well, in the form sometimes of clarity, of like light finally being shed on something that has been in shadow. So again, it feels like the truth coming forward is going to shed light on what was in shadow. And the bearer of the truth, whether you're the bearer of the truth, you're the deliverer of the message, or you're the recipient of the truth, there's fear in there. And that's what I think some of this ribbon or this yarn was represented by. But there will actually be a deep sense of relief and like peacefulness that will come with knowing the truth, no matter how uncomfortable the truth is. So whether, again, you are the person who is the bearer of the truth, and I just saw somebody getting fired. I don't know what that means. Like if you are someone, if maybe somebody here is a boss and they're about to have a difficult conversation, but that just came forward. I just saw over here somebody might be needing to fire someone right now or lay someone off. That feels present here. But whether you are the teller of the truth, the one who has to deliver the news, or you are the recipient of the news, there is going to be great relief in either giving or receiving the news. And that the sun imagery, the sun shining over the whole system, feels like that's what allows me to tell you that it's going to bring a deep sense of relief, no matter whether it's news that you want to hear, it's a truth that you want to hear, or truth that you don't. There's this feeling of, in the not knowingness of it all, like of the uncertainty of it all, it's like this buzzing. It's like zzz. It's remember the children's game Operation, where like if you touch the side of the little game board, it like buzzed. Like that's the feeling that is in my system right now. There's like this, it might not be so oppressive, like the nose might not be lighting up, and it might not be quite so loud and jarring, but there's like this undercurrent buzziness of, I am lying or someone is lying to me, that is all the way through both systems, whether you are and I don't mean to call you a liar, but for the sake of ease, I'm going to say whether you are the one who was, how about this? You are the one who is withholding the truth, or whether you are the one who knows. And you can already sense, again, if this isn't your message, you will know it. So if you already have an intuition, I think that's why I gave the preamble that I gave today. If you don't already have the feeling, if your spidey sense isn't already tingling about someone's truth versus lies, then this message probably isn't for you. So I don't want you to walk around in fear that someone is lying to you if this is not resonating at all. I don't want this to generate worry in your nervous system. This message is for you if you've already had the intuitive sense that someone is withholding a truth, someone is not telling you the truth, or if you have been withholding the truth, then this is your message. There is a feeling of like like being a little bendy and stretchy. So what I mean by that is, like, if you are the person who is withholding the truth, I can feel that energy of, well, we didn't actually agree on, or I didn't say that I was going to say. Like, there's that feeling of like manipulation or deception that is here in your system. And I want to call bullshit on it, because you would not be so buzzy if you knew that you were acting in alignment. I think there's a cat that's going to jump up on me right now. Yes, there he is. You would not be so buzzy if you were truly acting in alignment. And just like, I don't want you to make this message if it isn't yours, your system, if someone is withholding, or someone is not, someone in your periphery or in your general vicinity, someone who you are relating with, if that person is not in alignment and withholding the truth, you already have this frequency buzzing in your nervous system. So again, you know if this message is for you by now. And if it isn't, bless and release by all means. So bending and stretching the truth, and bending and stretching the alignment, you're really being invited to look at that, because what that is like, it becomes manipulation when it is conscious, but it's not quite manipulation. It's not so like, I don't want to wag my finger at it so much. Like, I don't want to say like you're out of alignment. When you're being bendy and stretchy, or someone is being bendy and stretchy out of fear. Okay. So for some of you, like, you're not in alignment because you're in fear, and you're in fear from wounding, and you're being invited to really look at that right now, to look at all of the ways that you are bending and stretching and not in alignment, and trying to make excuses for why it's okay. I want you to like drop underneath that and look at the wounding that's underneath that, because you will be infinitely more comfortable if you can bring yourself into alignment. You will be infinitely more comfortable if you can just tell the truth. The burden, I'm seeing the 10 of Wands, the burden that you are carrying by being bendy and stretchy because of your fear and because of your wounding is so excessively heavy right now, and it wants to be put down. And the way you're going to put that stack of 10 wands on your back down, the way you're going to do that is by really coming into truth with yourself, coming into alignment with the truth first inside of yourself, and then where it is needed, bringing it forward and having a difficult conversation. I just want to stop for a minute and feel into this, because I feel like there might be more here. There's definitely a pattern here from the wounding of being really bendy and stretchy. I'm hearing like I'm hearing like the thread that I'm hearing is, well, we haven't known one another long enough for me to have this conversation. So, but it's not in alignment is the thing. So what I feel like this particular thread of energy, and this feels very specific, this thread of energy is like, well, I don't owe this person anything because we haven't actually agreed on this. We haven't had this conversation, and I've only known them a short period of time, and so I'm still okay doing all of these other things. But there is like it's this energy knows, they know better. And this, if this is you, you know better. You know better than to, like, that's part of the old pattern, and that's part of the old story. And the people whom you are sort of bending and stretching with believe right now that you are in alignment, believe that you are telling the whole truth and nothing but the truth. And therefore you know that you're in alignment. And so I'm going to encourage you to do whatever it takes to bring yourself, and it's like the energetic feeling is like clicking all the way into alignment. And here's the thing, there's multiple people. I'm seeing four queens right now. I'm seeing like there are four queens for whom you owe the truth to right now. And I'm sorry, like this feels really specific, and I feel like I'm calling somebody specifically out on their bullshit. But there are four queens, and they all are believing it feels like that they are the only one, and you over here as the ringmaster of the circus. I was seeing the 10 of wands, but there's also this knight of wands energy as well. He's the player of the deck. Like there's a knight of wands here who is playing these four queens, but the four queens, I think two of them already know this, and two of them are like blinded right now. Maybe they're not, maybe they're knights as well. Maybe they're not actually queens yet, but they will be coming into their queen energy, and they're going to know too. So get yourself in alignment now. This may be a past timeline, and you may be in reflection here of something that happened before. And you might be I might be seeing it so clearly because you're already working your way into alignments. I feel like it might be a past timeline because I'm over here, and when it's present, it feels like it comes forward here. And when we're moving into future energy, I feel it over here. So because I'm so focused over here, it's quite possible that you're feeling something from a past timeline, but it's definitely bleeding in forward. So get yourself in alignment now. The fear that you have in your body about telling the truth, the wounding that you're carrying is infinitely more painful to you, infinitely more burdensome than actually revealing that truth, is what I'm seeing here. I'm going to come into, there's another feel like they're part of this collective, and some feel like they are part of this collective by association. The bundle that I'm feeling over here of those for whom the truth is being withheld, what I want to tell you is